guys, Preacher 357 here. Today I'm out here on the range and I'm going to bring to you a big bore Cowboy Carbine. The Marlin 1895 CBA in 4570. Now this gun is a hoss. It's a short barrel. Now it's got the octagonal barrel, so it's a little heavier in the front, which maybe helps out a little bit, but this thing packs a wallop. This kicks worse than a 12 gauge. I don't know if it's as bad as a 3.5 inch 12 gauge, maybe like a 3 inch 12 gauge. Maybe even a little worse than a 3 inch 12 gauge, but maybe not as bad as a 3.5. But it's got a wallop to it. When you shoot the really hot stuff, 4570, it's not all that much fun because it absolutely wallops you. But I've got a couple of different power levels out here. So before we start shooting, let's do a little bit of talking about this gun, about the 4570 cartridge. But before we do that, if you will, check out the description. I've got a link there to join up with the GOA, the Gun Owners of America. There's a discount link there for a discounted membership where you can join up and get in the fight and help out with the fight for our gun rights. You see I've got the GOA on right here. I'm a life member and I support them. I'm not getting any money back for promoting them here on the channel. This is just something I do because I believe in what they're doing. Also the TFA, the Tennessee Firearms Association. If you live in Tennessee like I do, there's a link there where you can join up with the TFA because they're doing a lot of good work here in the state of Tennessee, and the GOA and the TFA work hand in hand here in this state, and I'm sure they do in your state as well. So if you live in Tennessee, join the TFA as well. Otherwise, if you live in the United States here and you want to support gun rights, join up with the GOA, and I got a link in the description for both. So let's do a little bit of talking first. Here we have the Marlin 1895, the CBA, which is a 20-inch barrel. And you can see this is a very compact little package here. And it's a really nice looking rifle. Now this is what some people call a Remington. I bought this in 2017, I believe. So it was made, you know, while Marlin was owned by Remington. And there was a lot of issues with quality control during that time period, but they really had started figuring it out before they went out of business. And this one is pretty nice. The fore end here on it was not exactly fitting correctly. I think I had to do a little bit of work to it to get it tight in there the way it should be. But for the most part, it looks really nice. The wood looks really nice. It's a great shooting little gun, fairly accurate. I don't know if you saw where I was shooting there at the front at the beginning of the video. I'd shot really well when I first shot, the first grouping that I did, but I didn't record that, unfortunately. But the longer I shot the thing, the worse my groupings got because the more punch drunk I got from shooting this thing. Probably started flinching a little bit because it was walloping me pretty good. But this shoots the 4570 cartridge, which originally came out in 1873 on the Springfield trapdoor rifle, which was the rifle that was designed for the military, for the Army, to be the service rifle. And that's why it's often called 4570 government, because it was a government cartridge. It was a military cartridge. Oh, watch out now. Weapons of war, right? But the 4570 was originally a military cartridge, much like 30-06. Same way. You know, there's a lot of different calibers out there that started out as a military cartridge. You know, 45 Colt. You know, those were originally designed for the military as well. But 1873 is when the round came out. Now, obviously, this didn't come out in 1873. It's called in 1895, and because you know, that was roughly the year I think when Marlin came out with a design. Now, it changed a little over the years, from what I understand. And this one is really more like a 336. This updated version, it's basically a 336 action, which is like the 3030 that I did a review on not long ago, my 1976 model, I believe it is, whereas this is a 2017, I believe. So, you know, this one has the crossbolt safety on it, which a lot of people hate. Don't like it, don't use it. It's the way I look at it. It's not a big deal to me. I mean, if I had my option, I wouldn't have it, but it's not, you know, worth worrying about that it's on there. I've got the nice recoil pad on here, and it still doesn't take away the recoil that much. It still wallops you pretty good. But for anybody who's not familiar with the 4570, which is a really old cartridge, if you're not familiar with it, don't know much about it, I thought I'd do a little bit of a demonstration here. We'll put the gun to the side here. Got me a nice little wood block here, so these cartridges hopefully will stand up on here. And I brought out some the classic lever action cartridges that you might shoot in a lever action rifle. First being obviously the 22 long rifle. You see that right there. Small cartridge there, rimfire. The next, I would say in power wise, and I'm kind of listing them in terms of power, but not exactly, and I'll explain that. But be the 38 special. There's a 38 special. You've seen that Henry I've got that shoots 357 and 38, and there's the 357. A little bigger, a little more powerful. Next after that, I'm going to list the 44 special. Now the reason I said that it's not exactly in order of power is because the 357 Magnum is actually more powerful than the 44 special. But I didn't want to list them out of order here. And here's the 44 Magnum. So there's the 44 Magnum. I have a Marlin 1894. Not 1895, but an 1894 that I did a video on, which shoots both of those cartridges, the 44 Special and the 44 Magnum. 45 Colt is another one you'll often see a lever gun chambered in. I have not done a video with a 45 Colt. Hopefully I will soon, but I haven't done a video with a 45 Colt yet. And here's one that you really don't see in lever actions much, other than maybe like a Henry Lone Ranger or one of those type of rifles, and that is a 223 Remington. That's what the AR-15 fires. I've just brought it out here for comparison because there may be some guys out here more into the tactical type of thing and they never shoot anything but 9mm and 223 or 5.56, whatever. So I thought I'd bring it out for comparison. There's a 223 in comparison to these basically handgun calibers here. Now here's the 30-30. That's the round that the Marlin 336 shoots, which I did a video on not long ago. A little bit bigger than the 223 you see there. It's got about 50% more power than the 223. So it's a little more powerful. And now last of all, here's the hoss of the lever gun rounds, the 4570. And you can see it's bigger. That's a much bigger bullet there at the end. Just to give you a perspective, that's a 40 grain, I believe it is. This is 158, 158. These are both 240 grains. That's a 250 grain. That's a 55 grain, so going way down when we go to the rifle cartridge. That is 150 grain for the 30-30, and that's a 405 grain. So we jumped up a lot in size of the bullet, from 150 grain for that, or going back here to a 250 grain to a 405 grain. So 155 grains more than the next biggest bullet. That's a lot. That's a lot bigger. And that's what we shoot out of the 4570 rifles. And that's why it kicks so much, because your recoil is about the power that it has, but it's also about the inertia of the bullet. You know, how heavy that bullet is, because the force that it takes to push the bullet out the barrel is the same force that comes back at you. And the heavier the bullet is, the more force it takes to propel it, and the more recoil you're going to get. So that's why it kicks like a mule, is because it shoots that big heavy bullet there. Now there are some other grain weights that you can get for 4570. They go down as low as about 300 grain or so that you can get in a 4570 for different loads, but these are all hand loads, and I only load 405 grain. That's the classic bullet size for a 4570. Now originally the 4570 was a black powder round. It came out before smokeless powder, but it was converted over to smokeless. And now there are 3 levels of power that basically you see with 4570. You have what they call the trapdoor loads, or the weaker loads that can be fired in the older style rifles like the Remington trapdoors. And then you have the tier 2, which is for like the lever guns like this one. They can shoot a more powerful load. This is actually a tier 2 load. That's a hoss right there. This was the one I load for the tier 1. This is safe for a trapdoor. This one has about 10 grains more powder in it. so it's got a lot more power to it than the other one. And then there is the top tier, which would be like for a Ruger #1, one of those type of rifles that can really handle a lot of pressure. And I don't load that heavy. And considering how bad this one kicks, I don't think I'd want to shoot a 45-70 in that top tier through like a Ruger #1, which is not a big gun either. So anyway, there it is. I thought I would bring that out and sort of give you that demonstration there if you weren't familiar with 45-70. So let's do a little bit of loading up here and just see what we can do. I think it holds 4, I think. 2, 3, 4. See, I can count. I think it's just 4. Let's make sure. No, it holds 5. So it's 5 plus 1. I'll just go with 5 right now. All right, first off, I'm going to go all the way out here and see if I can hit this plate at 100 yards. I've never shot that plate with this gun. So let's see if I can get all the way out there. It was shooting right on target, so if I can not flinch, I think I'll be able to hit it. Yeah, dead center, I believe. See if we can hit the 80-yard plate as well. There we go. Boy, she rocks her, don't she? All right, I wonder what it'll do to a watermelon. Because I really don't know. I'm not sure what it would do to a watermelon. Because it's not a super high velocity cartridge, because the bullet is so large, and it's not a hollow point, but it does have a really large flat knee flat on it. So the flat part of the nose of the bullet. So I think it's going to do a pretty good job on them. So I'm going to shoot this one right here, and I'm going to shoot the other one with one of the higher power loads, if I can stand it. But I'm going to shoot this one right here first and see what happens. That's pretty good. A lot of times that explosion you get from them is from the velocity as much as the power. But I'd say that did a pretty good job of it. Got a 2-liter right over. Let's see if I can hit that thing. Looks like I hit it. It fell over. I didn't see an explosion or anything. Yeah, there's some 2 liters up there too, isn't there? See if I can hit one of those. Oh, well, I knocked the other one off. Look at there. And there's a gallon jug of water. Well, I'm out of ammo. We got to load her up again here. All right, we'll put some more in here. And see if we can wallop a few more things here while we're at it. Is that it? I can't. You know I'm not good at counting. There we go. One more. All right. Now I'm going to go over here. I got a 2-liter right over here as well. And I'm going to see if I can wallop this thing as well. There's one right there. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah. There's one on top there too. Ah. I'm dousing my targets. There's one right over here. Let me see if I can get over here and get him. Yeah, oh, one up in the tree. They always hide in that tree. You think they know I'm gonna find them. There we go. One more round. All right, I'm gonna have to try a pineapple. See if I can hit this pineapple out here. All right. Oh, I jerked the trigger. I'm flinching. I don't know what I did that time. It does put a beating on you though. Woo! It most certainly does. I don't know if you can tell, if you can see how much recoil it has or not. I feel like it's knocking me all around here, but it may not be. I don't know. I'm a hefty rascal, so it may not be punching me around as much as I feel like it is. Well, let's just see. All right, pineapples again. What in the world? I have knocked my rear sight off. The screw has come loose. Look at there. Well, that ain't no good. No wonder I was missing there at the end. Well, that's a problem. All right, well, I guess we're going to go back to the iron sights. So hold on just a second while I take this peep sight off, because I have a Williams peep sight I put on there, but apparently, I guess the recoil was just so much it knocked the screw out of it. I ain't never gonna find that screw out here in the grass, I know. So let me take this off and then we'll get right back to it. All right. I have no idea if these sights are gonna be on at all. No idea. But we'll see what we can do. Alright. Okay, apparently shooting a little low. I just took the entire stand out there, didn't I? Yep, I have to hold higher. There's a reason I put that peep sight on there, because I was having a lot of trouble with the iron sight. Still am, apparently. Well, I don't know where it's hitting exactly, but that's obviously a problem. Oh, that's disappointing. Very disappointing, because I really like these peep sights. Really like these peep sights. Can't believe that thing came off. Well, I'm gonna load up some of these really hot ones, and for one time, just so you can see me wince in pain, because these things hurt. These things absolutely hurt. And we'll see what we can do with her here. This is a really nice rifle though. It'll load up. Come on now. Well, that's not wanting to load. There it goes. I was going to hang up. Alright. I'm going to pop this watermelon here and then go back over there and see if I can hit that 100-yard plate again. And I may have to just call it a day, because unfortunately me and this semi-buckhorn sight don't get along very well. Alright, let's see if I can pop this watermelon. Not too bad, I guess. Alright. Way low. Way low. Still low, I believe. I have to bring her up some more. There we go. Had to bring her up a lot. It's beating the mess out of me. Still low. Well, I think I could adjust it higher. That's probably what I need to do for that. But I wasn't expecting the peep sight to fall off of it. So what happens? You come out here on the range, and what happens, happens. And I film it, and you get to see it. If I embarrass myself, I embarrass myself. But this gun's a lot of fun. It's a blast to shoot, literally. It probably left a bruise on my shoulder for the rest of the week. Last time I came out here and shot those hot loads, I shot a bunch of them. That's all I shot that day. And the next day I woke up and had a big bruise on my shoulder. It absolutely walloped me good. But I shot a whole bunch of them that day too. But I'm really disappointed that I couldn't do some more pinpoint shooting, because this gun is really on with that peep sight on. I had it really dialed in, and I felt like I was going to do some good shooting. But the best laid plans of mice and men, right? I'm not sure if I'm a mouse or a man, but definitely bigger than a mouse. But anyway. All right, guys. I guess you've seen it. You've seen me abuse myself with this thing now. Great gun. Great shooting gun. Great looking gun. Love the octagonal barrel that it has there. I love the peep sight on it, but unfortunately it's not on there right now. But I'll get that rectified and hopefully do a second review with this gun, a second chapter, and come out here and shoot a little bit more with it at some point. Because you can't just see it once. You're going to have to definitely see it again, because I'm hoping that Ruger, who's now making the Marlins, is going to make this model again, because they're really nice. I don't know if they're making anything other than the guide guns right now. But the CB and the CBA, the CB was a 24-inch barrel, I believe, and the CBA was the 20-inch barrel. I think that's right, unless it's an 18, but I think it's a 20. I'll put it on the screen and let you know for sure. I should have checked that out beforehand, but I've had this gun for several years, and I believe it was a 20-inch. It's not one of those things I sit and dwell on very often, how long this barrel length is. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming out. God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.